So the Hellp is doing this cool thing with these hyper pop newer sounds and blending them with like these very, like I said, 2014 Tumblr aesthetic types of sounds. They're a part of that indie sleaze revival, and they made a really great album called Riviera. Now, I went and I did like a short form review of that album, but there was a lot to talk about in there. So I am going to go through kind of track by track and talk about all of the things. Now, before I break it down very detailed like that, just overall, it felt like I'm a 32-year-old millennial, and it felt like kind of perfectly made for me because there was enough like fresh new sounds in there where I didn't feel like I was just listening to something from when I listened to in college, but it also gave me a lot of familiarity that I could really vibe with. And it has like this very, and I'm like a sucker, you know, for like the like super artistic, like abstract things and like the higher level intellectual sorts of ideas like they have in their lyrics, and like sort of the nods that they do to certain different themes and things, like small town to LA, like a small town person in a big city, like whoa, discovering myself, finding my identity. Like I eat that up all day long, right? So it's just they're really great polished sound. They're a duo. It's two guys. And they just kind of do their thing. They've been around for a while. I think the other album that came out a year before the Riviera album I'm talking about now is called LL, which that one gets a lot of buzz as well. So if you want me to do a full review on that album too, just let me know in the comments, because I definitely enjoyed listening to them and I could definitely dive into more. So there's like in the first track and overall generally, I was saying that I've got notes. I'm looking at notes. I hope that's like not annoying, but like I have to take notes. Anyways, there's like a blend of classic or psychedelic rock, sort of like, I feel like they're using the same plugins as Two Hollis, but differently. And that kind of gives those more hardcore electronic sounds and makes it very unique. I'm getting like some maybe Radiohead, maybe Pink Floyd, like some like maybe psychedelic rock sort of things, maybe like Radiohead sorts of like indie sorts of things like that, mixed with these electronic sounds. And I'm appreciating like the contrast that they have in their vocals. They've got some ad libs that are like in overdrive that contrast with like this sort of plate flanger that they have in the lead vocal in that opening track, Revenge of the Mouse Diva. It's like I'm doing contrast, but I'm doing it tastefully, and it has a purpose, you know, not like when you just have like a bunch of crazy sounds like thrown together. Like they are making like a art piece with like the way that they're contrasting these sounds. So then it goes acoustic for the Country Road. That's where you really start to think like 2014 indie music. It's this, like I said again, I'm in my notes, I said it's a unique blend of sounds that doesn't sound like a hodgepodge. Hodgepodge is the word. Country Road, very cool track, using the Country Road Take Me Home line, kind of spinning it though, instead of like Country Road Take Me Home. This is like Country Road Take Me Home, sort of in like I'm feeling displaced, I'm feeling lonely, and they're talking about like being lonely in like a big giant city, like when you feel alone in a crowd, like thing. That's how I interpreted it, at least. The line, I want to be a pine tree because they never know changing. That's like probably my favorite line on the album. Definitely stuck with me. There before that it was like talking about like a kid saying I want to be a pine tree because they never know changing. So it's like the childlike like innocence, and then like realizing that you have to grow up and like things are going to change. They're not always going to be the same. Like makes you think about that, right? So Pray to Evil, that is a cool track. I feel like it's touching on politics and like the sort of fear mongering in the media, like did this, and then I check the times, they say, in the lyrics. I feel like it's probably the most because there's a lot of like political songs that are like very just directly like, I'm gonna rap about politics, and that has like a purpose, but like those only are so effective and they can only go so far. Like this track, like Pray to Evil, I feel like it's the most creative way that you can make a political track, but to me personally, it kind of like fell a little bit dead to my ears because like we just hear nods to politics all the time and it's just like a fatigue sort of thing. But I appreciated that it was like probably the most creative way that you could talk about politics in a song. Meridian was the whole freaking coolest track on the album. Meridian, oh my god, because it's doing like that like chill, like repetitive, like I'm in the club, like bumping the beat, and then they like interject with like all these like crazy hard electronic sounds, and it's like unexpected, but then it fits in the beat. Like that track is so fun, and it's so like it's the chaos, like, oh, like I'm vibing along, and then the chaos, and like, oh, like that hits. Like I feel like I get it. Like I don't necessarily know how to put it into words, but I hear that and I feel like I get it. Like, so the whole album, especially this track, it's like poetic, it's abstract, it's got that 10 years ago type of vibe to it, that indie sleaze vibe. It's really cool. I was almost kind of reminded of like some older EDM groups like Odessa also in parts of this track. It's just really, really cool. That's my favorite track for sure. New Wave America, that song seems to be about like being trapped in the rat race of the middle class. I connected with that one heavy because, I'm like a suburban mom. I'm trapped in the middle class right now, trying to get out of that rat race myself. And so I feel like that was what it was. And if you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. Court, that track, I feel like was also, again, like painting a picture of feeling alone while in a crowd. That's like a theme that pops up. There's like a more upbeat party feel to it, which contrasts with the lyrics to kind of drive the point home. They paint so many different mental pictures with like a ton of different analogies in the lyrics. Overall, I feel like they use so many grandiose analogies, like soldiers and submarines, like a flashbang in the darkness, in response to being told that you're not alone. So like, oh, you're not alone. And then, oh, I feel like a soldier in a submarine. I feel like a flashbang in the darkness. And that's like so exaggerated. I think the point is to just drive home like the immense feeling of loneliness. Modern Man, it's another track that makes me think about being trapped in suburbia, trapped in a 9 to 5. Overall, they've got soft vocals, a driving beat that kind of paint the picture of like pretending that you're happy amongst the misery of your daily monotony. Yeah, I feel like I get that. Doppler, that's a very cool introspective track about identity. You feel like a copy of someone else, but better. Why do we feel better emulating others, but not being our authentic selves? I think is the question we're supposed to ask. Here I Am, that song I felt like was more for vibes. From LA to LA. La, la, la. From LA to LA. La, la, la. Like that just be sticking in my head. So I think it is the weakest track on the album. Like, yeah, it's vibey, but I don't think that I could say much else about it. And that's all I have to say about that one. Not that I don't like it. I just feel like it was the weakest track on the album. And then Live Forever, this one is like where the beats really tie together and you kind of come full circle with like hey, we showed you some themes, we showed you some different songs, but like, hey, you're listening to an indie sleaze album. Like, we took you back to the Polaroid days. And it's long, but it's just for the vibes. Overall, just a really cool album. Everyone in this sort of like indie sleaze revival space, I'm liking the whole movement as a whole in general. But the thing about the Hellp is that I'm connecting with it on a higher level, and it's sticking with me more because they have these like deeper themes in their music, because they have these like very strong analogies and things, and because I think that they do the sound design very tastefully. Like, you could definitely take it too far and do too much and have it not be effective, but the way that they're doing it is they're just giving you a little bit of those nostalgic flavors, a little bit of those fresh flavors, and they're doing their thing. So I would love to know what you thought of this album, and please let me know other albums that you'd like me to review long form like this, because I am going to be doing more long form. I'm finding more and more, especially as I start to take notes and things, that like a lot of these albums deserve a long form album review. So some of them, I like this, I might do like my quick reaction as a short form, and then come back here and like really break it down for you guys the way that they are deserved. So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one, and bye.